Once upon a time, there was a girl who went on a walk to visit her granny and have a little talk. Everyone in the neighborhood called her Little Red Riding Hood. But you're not interested in a bedtime story. But have you ever wondered why you remember it so well? Maybe you'll say because you heard it a million times as a kid. Well, not really. Let's take a deeper look, shall we? All stories have 4 elements in common. These elements are message, character, conflict, and plot. The message or the theme is telling a story with a meaningful purpose that aims to communicate the main idea. The plot refers to the overall journey that the audience experiences with the hero of the story. The conflict is what motivates the audience to get involved in the story. The character represents a hero in a journey to find a solution to the conflict. And because Little Red Riding Hood story has all these elements, it shaped a form of meaning for you, and this is why you remember it. Storytelling is a fictional art that made a leap into the business world. What is the need of storytelling and how is it implemented? This is the story of storytelling in advertising. Many expressions were used to describe a story. It's a casual connection, link of events, simple, structure. It's anything narrated by one reciter to another. The narrative advertising phenomena started in the late 80s. Brands wanted to replicate the cinema experience to bring more loyal customers in a short manner. What really brands are after?
As quick as a bunny, when I say the coin, you show me the money. A penny, as quick as a bunny. Show me the money.
Brands not only want to attract new customers, they want to keep them around too. And this is achieved by the brand ability to build and maintain a relationship with the audience. Brands want to give consumers a good reason to complete a purchase. This happens by stimulating the positive feelings to induce direct and indirect responses. It's true that the purchase decision is built on a logical and emotional mix. Yes, you still need a logical justification to buy a product, for example, but the exact point of making a decision is stimulated by your emotional side. This is why brands are not only concerned about the image they create, but mostly about the feelings they trigger. Brands started to realize the importance of narrative in drawing the attention of audience. It gives meaning to the visual image of the brand. It is more persuasive than the functional ads. It separates the brand from the competitor. Therefore, brands aim to build their corporate image around a good story that has the power to stimulate the feelings of the audience. Brands must determine what is their purpose of releasing an ad campaign. Is it to engage with consumers, to influence audience, or is it to make the brand more relatable? Storytelling is a way for any brand to communicate the advertising messages in a subtle manner. Subtle advertising makes the audience feel that they are getting engaged, not informed about the brand's offerings. This will lead to the audience trust to finally form an ongoing relationship with the brand. Before drafting any storyline adverts, content creators must understand the purpose of the ad campaign, how the brand is perceived in the market, and what are the expectations of the targeted audience.
Audience are no longer shareholders, audience are stakeholders.
Effective engagement with the targeted audience is attained within 3 integrated steps. The first step is including an emotional influence layer. Brands tend to associate their storytelling adverts with 3 main emotions: trust, inspiration, and hope.
Tell them stories about people who already succeeded.
The second step is relatable content. For audience to engage and relate with the story, the content must be simple, sincere, and concise.
Short enough to grab attention and long enough to communicate value.
The third step is having a clear call to action, which is telling the audience what to do next. A call to action can be anything really that encourages an action of the audience. But why is it important?
It's not an entertainment video after all.
Now that I've talked about what your advert should contain, let's talk about some of the methods to do so. The first approach is communicating the actual brand story in the fictional advert. Using the brand story in the advert allows the brand to appear authentic, true, and transparent.
Staying true to a brand story is essential.
The second approach is using the non-fictional storytelling as documentaries, for example. Audience relate better to adverts of real-life incidents.
Audience are more prone to see real-life stories than made-up stories.
The third approach is the funnel-based advertising. Funnel-based advertising is taking the audience in a journey formed of 3 communication stages: creating awareness, interest, and then desire to potentially lead to active consumers. So in summary, storytelling leads to emotional influence, then engagement, then active consumers, and then profit, and that will give us a happy brand.